Welcome to Make It Nice, the YouTube where we spin yarns about reality TV to forget about the bleak reality in which we live.
Ain't that the truth?
So today we're gonna do some deep dives into recent Bachelor drama. There's been a lot. It's been toxic. It's been bad, sad, bad. But let's jump right in.
The number of people, including our dear Hayley, who have texted me and they're like, is it always like this? Through the roof. And yes, it is, but I think it feels worse because we're all actually paying attention because there's nothing else to do. So, Bachelor time.
Yeah. Actually, before we jump into The Bachelor, shall we do the thing that this show is also about?
Yeah, crafting. Yeah. That's a thing that I have the creative mental space for these days. I'm crafting to-do lists, Hayley. Let's be honest. It's the time of year. Work always gets really crazy for me in December, like through January, and then I'm just like always catching up. And I feel like I'm constantly out of breath, like running this race that I know I'm not going to win. So February is always like the time for me to like reset and let all of that go and move on and like kind of take stock of everything that I didn't really acknowledge that had happened in the last 2 years or 2 months. Oh my God, that feel like 2 years. Freudian slip. Yeah. So February is a lot of like getting my shit together and like I have to file my taxes. So yeah, sorry that was a lot of word vomit, but I'm trying to create space in my own mind, which is a more, spiritual way of thinking about creativity than this podcast was probably intended for.
No, it's fine. I think that's totally valid. I think that's the beauty of being creative. You can be creative about anything, which helps you be creative about other parts of your life that are kind of established to crush your creativity. But it's important to bring your creativity back into different parts of your life that capitalism tells you not to be creative in.
I know. And also, disclaimer, we're not saying you should be creative while filing your taxes. Follow the rules. Okay, I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that.
Unless it saves you money. We're not telling you to scam, but save money where you can.
Making something nice. What are you up to?
I also have had little time to be super creative lately, but I did finish this top that I was knitting. I think
beautiful
time. It has some like floofy things on
fluttery.
it. Yeah. Yes, it's called the Flutter Butt shirt. And it makes me feel like a butterfly.
You look like a butterfly.
Oh my gosh, thanks. So I'm wearing this because I had a sweatshirt on and then I was like, we're recording today. Maybe I should put on a knit to make myself feel a little bit better.
Yes.
So that's what I'm doing. And then today I'm going to be working on some socks.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, I don't remember what this yarn is called because I don't have the label. But it's just like a really simple sock pattern that I can just do to keep my hands moving, but that I don't have to think about too much because school has started again and I'm working and going to school and I also don't have time to breathe. And I have been bad at like moving my body and eating and drinking water and sleeping.
Yes.
So
it's funny how when we're so stressed, we like forget how to actually take care of our bodies. And we're like, well, this is just easier than doing the other thing. And it's like, well, it's actually not.
I know. And like, if you actually put in the effort to like do the things that you know are good for you, then you would feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But here we are. So I'm trying to be a lot more mindful about that, which means I'm doing easy knitting projects. And I actually am trying to like cook more and like cook healthy stuff, which is good because it's it's an opportunity for me to like get up and move around and not like sit and
Mhm.
read a book or on my computer. Um, but the flip side of that is that I have a countertop full of dishes because I have the energy to cook food and eat food, but not do my dishes.
Yep.
So, that's what I do on Saturday mornings, which is really bad.
I mean, that's fine. I think that's fine.
I mean, I live by
Um,
myself and no one's coming over because
yeah,
pandemic, so
right.
I am embarrassed by myself, but not no like, no one else is
Yeah.
embarrassed at me, so
I mean, there's no judgment. There's only you, you know? Which, lol, at
oh,
the irony there, because we are our own worst critics.
uh
Anyway, cooking is such a great way to be creative. And I definitely didn't think of it when I was trying to like think about the ways I'm being creative, but I have been cooking so many new recipes. It's like one of the few things that brings me joy. So
Mhm.
I've been like trying to force myself to do it because it's like you said, like if you're just like, well, it's like too much work, then you won't do it. But if you like plan to do it and there's a plan, I'm a planner as a
Mhm.
Virgo. So it's been great. And I'm like slowly getting Brian to eat more vegetables as I do this, which is great.
I know one thing that's been keeping I mean, I know you're a vegetarian, but one thing that's been keeping me accountable to, cooking more is defrosting meat because, like, it can only stay in the fridge for a certain amount of time, and so if I take it out and put it in the fridge, I'm like, "Alright, I g" like, that's why I cooked
Gotta
so much
happen.
yesterday because I had,
Yeah.
like, a pound of beef in the fridge, and I was like, "Man, I gotta make something with this or else I'm gonna have to throw it away," and I'm not doing that because
That's
money and
food waste.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been keeping me, like, pretty accountable too. But you are a very good cook, and you always make really cool stuff, and you always bake really delicious things. Tell
You're so
me
sweet.
one, like, really cool thing you've made recently.
So I don't know if we've talked about this personally or ever on the podcast, but I have a fear of yeast, specifically yeasted breads. I'm terrified of it. I don't know how it works. I don't understand the science of what I'm cooking or baking, but I know how to do it well, if that makes sense. Like I am great at following a recipe. It's the Virgo in me yet again. I can do that well. So everything I make generally comes out pretty yummy. But like bread specifically scares me because if you get like a bad batch of yeast or like your yeast is too old, like it's a living thing. So like if you fuck with it, bad things happen. So I've been really scared of making bread. And this past week, last Monday actually, I made a loaf of the King Arthur Flour Company's back of the bag oatmeal loaf. I ate a whole loaf of bread in 3 days, which is a record for even me. So that's like the biggest, that's like the most exciting thing is like slowly like getting over my fears and just like trusting myself.
Mhm.
Um, and like the ladies in The Bachelor would say, trusting the process. Um, so yeah, that's really exciting. And I'm planning to make either tonight or tomorrow butter chickpeas, like a version on like Indian butter chicken, but like veggie for
Ah.
myself. And Brian does not like, he thinks he doesn't like curry. But I think he's wrong. So I'm gonna make him eat it. Although I'll make a chicken version for him because he's like, beans? No. So those are the two things that I've been like really excited about slash excited for.
Nice. You'll have to send me that recipe after you make it if it's good, because that sounds
Yeah.
delicious. I have
And
lentil curry in my fridge right now that I made the other day. Oh my god, it's so good.
curries and soups are the best things to make when you
Mhm.
feel like you're drowning because you can make a huge batch and it's like, okay, all I need to do is just like warm this up and it's gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes this is probably bad, but sometimes you don't even need to warm up curry because it's like if you make it spicy enough, you can just like eat it cold and it's still
Mhm.
really
As
good.
long as like sometimes I make mine like too dry, like there's more stuff than liquid, and then like that's kind of hard. But if you get the consistency and like the spice right, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I made vegetarian chili this week for lunches and it's good. Yeah.
Yum.
So
Um, this is cooking related and reality TV related. I have been, obviously I'm up to date now on Bachelor, but I've been so behind on all my other reality TV just because I don't have like the mental energy to watch it.
Yeah.
But I have been binging Worst Cooks in America on Hulu, and it is a delight. I
Yeah?
love that show. It's like so kitschy and cheesy and like weird, but it's so good. All the people on there are like so likable, and I'm like learning random kitchen
Yeah.
stuff too that like is helpful or like giving me some inspiration to make different things, but highly recommend.
Wasn't Sonia on that show at some point?
Yeah, so you sent me, I had never watched it before, but you sent me an article like in March. I went back through our text. Well, not through our text, but I do remember you sending it to me somewhere about her being on it. And I think it was supposed to either start filming or premiere in March, but it's that season isn't on Hulu. There are other like celebrity seasons,
Yeah.
but that season isn't. And so I don't know if they just like
Suspect.
didn't premiere it or like didn't publish it. I don't know. What do you say about TV shows? I don't know if they just never put it on TV.
Right.
Or maybe they did and it's just not on Hulu yet. But
yeah,
she is. Oh my God, look at Max.
I don't know if you can hear, but I was telling Hayley before we started recording, I got a new rug, and usually I'll like use like little rug stickers to keep them on the ground so Max can't like fling them across the room. I haven't done that yet, so if you can hear like weird sliding, it's because she's losing her mind for some reason, as you can see, and she's pushing the rug all over the place. So, yay. If she gets too bad, just let me know.
No, I can't hear the rug or anything, but I'm just staring at her because she's so cute. And she's so sitting cute. So weird on the chair.
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So we sort of segued into reality TV.
We did.
Brief tangent on Max.
Yes.
Shall we actually jump into Bachelor talk now?
Please, because not only is there a cat in this room, there is cattiness on our screens. You're welcome. So, what the hell?
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned this earlier, but this, I don't know if you're right. I don't know if we are like in quarantine, so it's like our perspectives are different, or if the last few seasons, because this is only the third season of Bachelor I've watched, if the last couple of seasons have been like more mild. But this seems so toxic, like way more than usual.
Yeah, yes. And I think so. I think a couple things are true, right? So like we are actually paying attention now. Because I feel like in the pre-quarantine world, I would just like watch this stuff and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I think there's a difference. Like we're more focused on it. Like we expect more from, what we're consuming, maybe, I don't know. But also like, and this comes up in one of the episodes, like there's a person calling it out. Katie is holding women accountable in a way that I don't think usually happens on camera, or if it does, it's not shown, so we've never had like the voice of morality in the house be someone so likable and charismatic that they are given a storyline on that premise. So I think there's probably a couple things at play, because like I can't imagine the house is never not catty and toxic like this, but it does seem worse. Yeah,
and I think that's I feel like there's always kind of like a clear divide between cliques in the house.
Yeah,
it just seems so much more prominent than before, and just so much more like down and dirty than before. And I don't know if it's just because like Victoria was just so horrible
Yeah.
that it was almost like honestly almost comical. Like I've told you this, like
Yeah.
I can't imagine that she's a real person. Like she had to
No.
have been an actor, right? Like
She's
there's
like a
no
Disney
way.
villain. Like it's so
Yeah.
cartoonish the way she behaves.
Yes.
I have to like, so like I feel like you can watch that and assume that that's the way someone is, which I think is always what we default to, because like we assume that like when people show you who they are, we like have to believe them. And I
Mhm.
believe that in real life, right? But then
Mhm.
I always get caught in the trap of, okay, they're filming for 24 hours a day and I'm watching an hour or
Mhm.
2 hours. So it's like how much of that is, kind of choreographed together to tell the story. So I'm always like trying to like fight that out. But like the way that she's edited, slash maybe the way that she is like despicable.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even when she literally took the crown off the head of the other
Yeah.
woman, I can't remember her name now, but when she walked in,
Alina.
yeah, she walked in and she was wearing like a crown and her Miss Puerto Rico stuff, and Victoria just like took her crown off her head. Like the
Yeah.
okay,
The energy and
yeah,
like,
like
and
do
then the
people do that
apology
in
that she
real
later
life?
gives Catalina.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, sorry, everything I do is in jest. And it's like, oh my God, everyone in the room knew that it wasn't in jest, and you can't go back and change history that way.
I
Like,
know, I know. It's
ugh.
wild. And I like, and that's the thing. I don't know if that like that can't be, I mean, I guess there are people in real life that are that bad, but like
Mhm.
how much of it is played up for the
Yeah.
camera and for the storyline, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And all of this, we should mention, like, kind of comes out because Katie, not me, other Katie, mentions on a group date without naming names, which, like, A plus behavior,
Mhm.
mentions, the house is getting pretty toxic, and I think it would go a long way if you address it. So, like, an episode begins with, a cocktail party, and Matt just, as his like little toast before they start the evening, is like, I've heard there's some not great things happening in the house. He doesn't get specific, he doesn't name names. And it's like, that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm about. Like, please feel comfortable talking to me if something is happening, and I'll do what I can to help. Which, like, A plus ally behavior. So
Mhm.
then, like, the way that Katie has set this up is, I think, the smartest, because she's not ratting anybody out. She's just saying, this is what I'm observing. It's not good. And I think that, you are the right voice to address this. So, like, she knows the room. Like, clearly, like, she's also one of the only like women in their late 20s. So like she's been around the block. Like, not 29 is old or however old she is, but like she knows like that age and like what kind of happens.
Mhm.
So I think like setting it up that way and allowing the women to come to Matt with like their stories, and like Brittany can say, yeah, Anna said this really like messed up stuff about me being an escort, and like it's not true, but it's like going around the house, and like this is my real life. Like, this is going to be on national TV. Like, for better or for worse, this is going to affect my reputation and my ability to work once this airs and I'm no longer in this environment. And Matt's like, what the fuck? And like it gets addressed, and it's like, wow, what a concept.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think like it kind of like forced some of I mean, I think I'm like obviously I'm glad that Matt was so strong in sending Anna home just like kind of right off the bat, but I think it also forced them, and we saw this with MJ in this week's episode too, like, and of course Victoria, whatever, not that I expected anything from her either, but it kind of showed the differences between like taking responsibility and like being accountable for your actions. Like honestly, Anna was being accountable and she owned up to it, and she was like, I know this is really shitty and I don't know why I did this. I got caught up in like the chaos and this is so out of character for me, blah blah blah, blah.
Yeah,
Which whatever, fine, but like you still have consequences. Like
right.
just
It's
because
like
you say sorry doesn't mean it's all okay.
yeah, and I feel like everybody, at least I felt this way, and I feel like maybe it's universal. We all have like those moments in our lives where we get caught up with like that one friend that like brings out the crazy, and we do something like we don't think we would normally, that doesn't feel right as we're doing it, but we do it because we're in the heat of the moment. And I think Anna found herself caught up in a moment like that, because like they show so much footage of her and Victoria like giggling and like doing their things and talking shit. And it's like, I've been there. I've been in a toxic friendship like that. And then, you know, you cross the Rubicon. You're like, wait, that's not who I am. Shit. But like you said, you're still accountable for what you do, even if it's not within what you perceive to be your character. And like, she was totally accountable for it. And then Victoria, you know, is delusional.
So delusional. Like outrageously so. And
like
then yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the stunt that she pulled at the rose ceremony where she walks up to him and is like, I can't believe that you would trust hearsay and not see out the truth of the facts. And I was like, what?
I know.
And then she just like leaves, like spewing her garbage. And it's like, okay, well, showing your true colors.
And then this is like jumping up to last week's episode, but it was so not funny, but just like what I was saying before, how how wildly different these women handle these situations. Because I feel like MJ was talking to Anna, like before Anna went home, MJ was talking to Anna and she's like, just tell him your truth. Just like, you did this, own up to it. Just like tell your truth and see what happens. And he'll like respect you or whatever. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was telling Anna to like tell him what happened, which is good advice.
Yes.
And then the next week we see like MJ's reckoning and she is being so terrible.
Yeah.
And so delusional too, because I don't
well, because she saw what happens when you're honest. There are consequences when you do shitty stuff. So she was like, oh, well, that wasn't play, you know? It's like, oh my goodness. It's just like, there were some parts about like, I mean, reckoning is a good way to phrase it. Like when she said something about, oh, like I had a weak bitch moment and I'm back. And I was like, I identify with this. You're using it in the wrong, you're doing the wrong thing. This is bad. Yeah. And like, poor Jessenia, I barely know her name. And she's like, MJ was mean to us. And we're like, we believe you because we see it, we have eyes. But like Matt is like asking her like, what happened specifically? And it's like, okay, dude, you've done this already. You don't need the specifics. You need to just trust her based on her experience. And like, you're not seeing the full side of MJ. And like, let's be honest, there's not a relationship there. I don't know why we're fooling. I don't know. I do love MJ's hair. She has great hair.
I know. I totally agree. Oh, I agree. But it's too full of pettiness and drama.
Too full of it. Yes.
Oh God. And I mean, I do like that. I mean, when when like two girls are or two women are brought in to like talk to the Bachelor about whatever drama that's going on, it's always uncomfortable and always ridiculous. But honestly, first of all, Jessenia's jumpsuit was beautiful. It
was so good.
So pretty. She looked amazing. But I just don't know how people I don't know how they do those situations, because just watching it, I'm like I want to throw up. Right. It's so uncomfortable and like disturbing. Yeah. And I think Jessenia handled it really well because she just kind of stayed calm. And MJ just kept saying the same exact thing. She was like, I preach peace and love, or whatever bullshit thing she kept saying. It was like, I preach peace and love, and like, you're just being petty. Like, this is so petty. And it's like, okay, if you actually had a point, you would actually have a point. You just keep saying the same thing that doesn't mean anything.
You're just describing something that doesn't exist.
I know.
Yeah. I always feel like that setup is so awkward because you never want to be in the middle of like back and forth when the lead walks in. And that's usually what happens if you have two kind of mature people, is like they get into it. And I feel like Jessenia sat there and she was like, I'm not engaging in this. She pulled a full Meredith Marks and was like, not doing it. And just like responded to like MJ or Meredith when she had to, and then like said her piece to Matt and it was done. And I was like, yeah, this is how responsible grown women handle their shit. My God.
What a concept.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like the theme of the last 2 weeks has been like, there are consequences for your actions in Bachelor Nation now. And like, and not to say that there haven't been previously, but like there haven't been in any consistent way. Like it's very like it's up to the lead's discretion. Like that is the only way someone leads. Unless you're like, there was one time security removed a male contestant from JoJo's season because he was just like physically violent. And his name was Chad, so that makes sense. But like, thank God we have like a good lead in there, I guess. Although he's still freaking boring.
Not even there's so much girl drama.
I just, oh God. The bowling date. Can you imagine in the year of our Lord 2021 going bowling and eating nachos off the same plate as 12 other people? I can.
But they're all quarantined.
Speaking of quarantined, the Heather montage.
Oh God. We forgot.
I forgot Heather.
I know. Oh my God. She is so, that whole thing was so annoying. It was just so cringe.
Brian made this point, which like applause to him, because he's now seen enough of the Bachelor Nation that he can start like forming long-term opinions. But he brought up the fact that the video vlog was first like seriously introduced during Colton's season. If you'll remember, all of the videos of him like working out, or like him in the shower, or like him like on his bed, like talking to his phone. And it wasn't good then, and it's not good now. You are not Rapunzel. Your hair is not that long. The pizza thing, unhinged. Like, so chaotic.
I know, which I guess was the point, because she's like quarantining and been by herself, like in a hotel room for 2 weeks. But it was still like, oh, why?
Right.
Oh, why was she here?
And like, you're not going to convince me it was 2 weeks if you have the same hair and makeup in all of the videos.
I know.
There is no passage of time in the background or in the foreground of those videos. I don't believe it. I'm calling your bluff, ABC. Yeah. Also, she definitely doesn't eat pizza, I don't think.
No, it was probably a pizza box full of salad.
These feelings about people, I don't know. I'm a lady that eats pizza, and so is Hayley. But some ladies do not.
Also, one of my friends told me that she apparently still has never been kissed since Colton season, which was wild then and is still wild now.
You know, that sucks for her.
I think it's fine. It can't be true. That's like, that's a bit, right? Like,
it has to be, right?
What the hell?
I don't know. People are weird.
Ugh.
It feels like Bachelor people are weirder than most people, and
you know what? That is true. You are correct there.
Yeah. For all of the stuff we've talked about, like consequences and cattiness and stuff, poor Katie.
I know. That was so sad. And to go home like on a date. I mean, I guess that's getting a rose, but it's still like, ooh. Like, well, I'm gonna spend
Serena came for her. Yeah. So like, I would like to clarify the record that MJ was not the last of the mean girls. Serena was a huge part of it, specifically in like that huge scene where they all gang up on Sarah. Serena C was like going at her too. And you can see as soon as NJ goes home, Serena is like looking around, and it feels like she's looking to see where her friends are, and she's realizing they're all gone because she was friends with the toxic people in the house. And later in the episode, when she confronts Katie, and I don't think she has a valid point, but like says that Katie being like a crusader for bullying in the house is like covering up the fact that she's not there for Matt, and not there for the right reasons, like bullshit. What the hell?
I don't know. I think she's trying to create more shit. That's, I don't know. I guess now because she doesn't have like her posse with her,
Yeah.
she's just like going off the deep end and just trying to start. I don't know. I guess, I mean, not that there's ever an excuse for treating people that way because they've been treating people so terribly, but I guess that's just how some people deal with stress. Like, I guess it's a stressful situation, so they just take it out on other
They
people.
lash out.
So rude. It's so terrible.
Katie. And then she handled it the best way. She's like, what you're saying is silly, but thank you for your feedback.
That was
I'll
honestly
say, Hayley texted me before I was watching. I was like, what are you talking about? You're so welcome, I guess. She was like, no, Katie. And I was like, yeah? And she's like, no, you're girl, Katie.
Next time I will check if you're watching it live or not.
It's so funny. I was like, oh, I can't wait for this moment.
That was
she also looks so good in those tiny short shorts with the socks. I was like, this is a look I need to bring back. I won't look nearly as good as she does, but I'm gonna try.
I know, that was a good moment. And I never understand that drama that's like why are you like, anytime I feel like that always happens anytime anyone tells like the lead what's going on in the house, like, hey, the house is toxic. And then the lead is like, oh, hey, everyone, stop making the house toxic. And then the toxic people are like, how dare you tell him that we are toxic?
I just like,
oh, come on.
And that's why I truly don't understand Serena's motivation, because none of this is Katie's fault. All she did was be an ally and speak up and like try and make this like less stressful for people, which, as you stated, this is already a hella stressful situation. Like, I think this is totally unrelated, but I just did some HR trainings for work today too, and they were like all about like in the age of #MeToo, and it's like, no, just because people are calling out toxic behavior doesn't mean that you need to be scared of toxic behavior. I guess it does. Scared if you're committing it or being toxic or harassing someone. Like, I don't understand why calling something what it is threatening to people. Like, just don't do it. Like, I'm sorry, you can't sexually harass me at work anymore. You probably shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem because it's so many people's like default behavior that they're like, oh my God, like now I have to actually like think about being accountable for my actions and thinking about how my behaviors affect people. That's such a huge load for me to carry. And like, I'm going to be canceled. And it's like, no, just like, you don't have to be scared. That's being over dramatic. You just have to learn to be like empathetic and accountable to your actions and how they affect people.
Yeah, and I feel like in the context of Bachelor specifically, it is much easier to be nicer to the 30 women you're living with than to be mean to them. Like, we've all had roommates. I don't understand.
I know, honestly.
Kit is 21 years old and she understands this. And I know that Kit has never had a roommate in her life. Like, what is wrong with people? Just be nice. It takes so much more energy and like time to go out of your way to be mean to someone. Like, and you get nothing out of it.
Well, except for airtime. Honestly.
I know.
And probably a roll on Bachelor in
fit
Paradise.
on, yeah.
Oh yeah, and some Spawn Con. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I felt kind of exasperated after last night's episode.
Yeah.
Or this week, Monday, the 8th episode, to be specific, for people who are on a timeline. I just like, God, like we had a chance for this to just be about love stories for once. I just want love. I don't want any of the nonsense. Well, I want some nonsense, but not like this nonsense.
Oh, speaking of good nonsense, can we talk about the Matt and Katie's date with Tyler? I'm sorry, but I actually loved that.
I peed my pants.
Oh my God. And okay, so Tyler C is like not my type at all, but there's something about him that's like so hot. And I forgot.
Because he listens and is empathetic. I'm telling you, this is it. I'm telling you, because he is not my type either. But like the way that he treated Hannah on the show through their breakup and then became best friends with her after, that is the sexiest thing I've ever seen a man in the public eye do. And I'm convinced it's because he, like we've been talking about, is accountable for his actions and treats people with kindness. And like, wow, didn't know I needed that in my masculinity, except, oh wait, I did need that. And I did know it.
But he just doesn't look like the type of guy that would be that way. But
I know, it's even better.
I know. And his like friendship with Matt, I mean, obviously you know it more because you've been like, you watch them on social media or whatever, but even so the little that I've seen, they just seem so pure. So sweet. And just like a little friendship.
Yeah, they like genuinely like love each other and like care about each other. And like, I don't know if it's me, but I don't remember the last time I saw like two muscular dudes like that hug and talk about their friendship.
I know.
I was like, this is when we talk about like representation being important, this is what we're talking about too. Like, I don't know, male friendships are weird to me, but like theirs seems so pure and so loving.
I totally agree.
Although I feel like that date was bad news for Katie from the get-go, because Matt shows up and he's like, so my friend Tyler's here. Like, he didn't give a shit about spending time with her or planning anything and just wanted to see him more.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but like it would seem like a cool opportunity to like be silly and be playful and like have that time with someone, but it also felt like kind of a friend zone-y date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like by the time they got to the dinner portion, like Katie was like, okay, so now's the part where we do like the emotional stuff, and he was like, no, now's the part I break up with you.
I know.
I was like, that's devastating. Yeah. Because like that, like Katie said, like, you know, that helped her like picture what their lives could look like together. And like, you always imagine how your friends are going to get along with the person that you're dating. And like, you want them in your life that way and to like know your people. And it's like to get to that point and to like see it and to do it. You know, she was part of this experience with Tyler. Like, that sucks.
I know. It was brutal. Did you see Reality Steve predicted claiming that be the next Bachelorette?
Yeah, so apparently this was like news to Katie.
I know.
I would love if she was the lead, but only if that's something she wants for herself. Because I can also see her being like, it wasn't a great experience for me. I don't want to be a house mom to a group of 30 men. But if she's into it, I'm into it, because like we've seen with Matt, like having a lead that like holds people accountable, really good.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. At first I was like, I don't know how that would go, because she's like too good for the show. Yeah. But then like you said, like if she's just gonna hold people accountable like Matt has been doing, like, hey, that would be cool. And we might get like some older guys. That would be cool. Like, some maturity. That would be cool.
Someone who's not like a, I don't know, junior analyst at PCW or whatever. Like, please. Speaking of accountability and like stuff that's happening in the Bachelor world, but like not on our screens.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff out there with Rachael. Broad strokes, not good. Racist. Yes.
Bad. Bad stuff. Okay.
Like,
so do you want to give a quick explainer since you're better at that than I am?
Sure.
And then we can
So the world of Reddit accomplished what ABC background checkers could not. That's a topic for other discussion. I think they're just inept and dumb, and Brian thinks don't care. And then Brian's position, which I can also see, is like they don't give a shit. They see this stuff and they don't care, and they don't see it as a problem. So like I think it could be both things, possibly. But anyway.
Or I was also thinking, my first thought was that they just don't care and like find this, like either don't find this stuff, or my second theory is that they do find it and they don't care, but care enough to add some wild cards in for the drama, and so people talk about it.
Yeah, and I think that probably is true. Like there was a season a couple years ago. I mean, like there was drama around JoJo's season with, I can't even remember his name, who was a racist, Garrett and Becca. Like that's a whole thing too. Anyway, so motives suspect at best, terrible and shady at worst. So Reddit has uncovered a series of social media posts and likes from Rachael. I think they're from like 2018 through like maybe some stuff that happened in 2020. And we're talking about posts, photos, liked tweets kind of stuff, ranging from her dressed up as a Native American when she is not a tribe member. I don't know her life, but does not appear to be a tribe member. Her mother has claimed that she is part Cherokee, which is a thing that white people like to do, to kind of say like, oh yeah, we were here too, which is bullshit and also racist, and therefore adding to the problem at hand. Additionally, there have been photos surfaced from her college years where she was a member of some sorority that's come under fire before, and there was an antebellum themed formal, and she's dressed up like Gone with the Wind style Southern racists. There are reports from people she went to high school with that she would make fun of women who dated Black men. Not good, racist shit. That seems to be this, like from my estimation, from what I have seen, this is the shit that white people do and don't think is racist, and then when they get called on it, they're like, oh wait, it is bad, isn't it? Or they're like, no, it's not bad at all. And I think that's the tension that's happening now, because as we've discussed, the demographics of the Bachelor world are mostly white people, and like this is the stuff that they do and don't see any problem with. So we're seeing that play out. Was that a good summary?
Yeah, it was. And I think an important note to make too, well, not an important note, but just something that stuck out to me too, was that a lot of the things that people found were posts by her friends and people that she's acquainted with that she likes or like
is in. Yeah.
Yeah, but there weren't a lot of posts by her or of her, which makes me think that she probably like
scrubbed her house.
Yeah. Before she went on The Bachelor, and then but you can't like go back and on like a bunch of stuff. I mean, you can, but it takes more work.
And like it requires knowing all the racist things you've done, which if you're a white person from Georgia is remembering everything you've done since birth, is basically my understanding of the matter.
Yeah. So Yeah, and so no one okay, so the response. Matt has issued a statement. Rachel has said absolutely nothing, which we can talk about because it's either
Yeah.
because ABC is telling her not to or because she doesn't care. Either way is bad because I feel like even if ABC is telling her not to, if she
Yeah.
really cared, she would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
So there is precedent for this.
okay.
During Becca's season, her future fiance, now former fiance, they've since broken up. While the show was airing, it was discovered he had liked a bunch of racist stuff. He was allowed to make a comment while the show was airing. I don't know what the difference in circumstances here, other than she's a woman and he was a man. I don't know if this is part of their trying to keep it spoiler free, because a lot of people assumed that since Garrett had made that comment, it was all but confirming that he was the winner at the end. I don't know what it is. I think it's more likely that it is ABC telling her she can't address it, which is why they had Matt address it. Also, it doesn't help to have like a Black man say it if you're ABC, which I think is terrible. And we've talked about this, about how ABC likes to use its people of color within the franchise to be their spokesperson to say they're not racist when like they are. So I don't know. There's also, I mean, hand in hand, there are rumors that she is the winner, that she and Matt are currently engaged. So I would think if that's true, some hard conversations are happening behind the scenes, hopefully. And like maybe let's think about this in the most positive way that we can, which is something I'm not used to doing, but we're going to try. Maybe she's taking the time to educate herself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid statement. It's entirely possible. I also think if she was taking time to educate herself, or if she and Matt are engaged and have been having conversations about this, which I'm sure they have been, like
Mm-hmm.
whether this was coming out or not, like they're in a interracial relationship.
Yeah.
Like it's the only thing they're going to talk about, but like I'm sure it comes up. She still has a responsibility to say something. Like she can't
Yeah.
just let this slide and hide behind ABC. Like if she was actually educating herself in the proper way about like why these things she did were bad, and doing the work to understand the effect that they had, and doing the work to understand the privilege and the platform that she has, then she should know by now.
I know. No, you're right.
Hold
You're right.
herself accountable and to make a statement about like what she's doing. And like even if she is taking time to like educate herself, I think that's just like a cop out, especially
Yeah.
for someone who has this. I mean again, it's the Bachelor. It's not like she has like a huge platform, but she still has a platform and she still could potentially be dating a Black man, and these are really
Mm-hmm.
serious, like really serious things that she's done. And that's just on social media. If she's doing this on social media, imagine like what she's talking about with her friends, with
Right.
a bunch of other white people that
Right.
like aren't holding each other accountable. If they're not going to hold each other accountable online, they're definitely not holding each other accountable like when they're just chatting like in the car or something. So I mean, yeah, you're never going to learn everything. And like at one, like there's never an endpoint to learning about racism and unlearning like racist, like behaviors and things that like affect other people really negatively. But you also still have to like be accountable for your actions and acknowledge the harm that you've done. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be an expert, but you have to say like, these things I did were really harmful, and I'm learning about the effect that they have, and this is what I'm going to do to like not make up for it, but like hold myself and my friends to more to higher standards
Yeah.
of not being racist anymore. I don't know.
The fact that that's a high standard is still. Yeah. I don't know if you could see it in my face. A light bulb clicked in my head. I think there was something this past summer with Hannah Brown that happened too, along this vein. I make that only to say that the common thread is Matt James. So I'm sure, like, as all people of color, like people have experienced like having to be the one Black friend to explain shit to their racist white friends. And I really hope that I'm reading way too much into this. I hope that Matt doesn't have to do that. I hope that he's saving space for himself to honor his experience and to kind of separate this nonsense, because like he is being exploited right now by the Bachelor franchise. And I don't think we talk about that enough. Like specifically when talking about race or sex or ethnicity or any kind of difference, there's a lot of exploitation that happens and we don't call it that. So I'm calling it that.
Yeah, and I think an important point that I want to make about like the potential of Matt and Rachel being together, just because they're, and I don't know if they're engaged, I don't know if she wins, whatever. This is a like a hypothetical situation, but if they are together and this is happening right now, while they are probably having conversations about race and being in an interracial relationship, it's also not Matt's responsibility to educate her about these things.
Yes.
And I want to make that clear because
yes.
I know what I said before, and I don't want it to seem like it's like his responsibility now to like hold her hand through this difficult situation, because it's just like way too much like emotional, like way too big of an emotional load for him to handle. And like there are situations when you're in an interracial relationship that like things like this pop up, but she also can't like, I also hope that if they are like engaged or whatever right now, that she's not relying on him, like you said, to be like teacher and her like guide through this whole thing.
Yes.
That's not helpful either. And that's
a shitty way to have a relationship too.
Yeah. And that's like really toxic.
Yes. Well. Thank you for making the point I was trying to make when I brought up Hannah Brown. Lost my train of thought and rambled because like not his responsibility. And I don't know. I hope that she's able, if ABC is the reason she hasn't said anything, I hope that they realize that that is adding fuel to the fire and not like spoilers at this point. Who cares? Because I think this is part of a much larger conversation that needs to happen, especially given all of the attention on this right now. Like Americans woke up this past summer and discovered racism again for like the 100th time in the past decade. So like this is front of mind for a lot of people. And this is, like you said, this is a platform, however, of whatever size, in which they could have a moment to discuss and hold space for this kind of learning and expression for people of color. So figure your shit out, ABC and Rachel and white people.
Yeah.
So I think the TLDR is bad things are happening and they will continue to happen.
Yeah, I think our moral of this whole episode is like look up accountability in the dictionary and do it.
Yes. If we had a video graphics person, we should just like drop in the Merriam-Webster definition.
Accountability, whether it's making sure that you're being healthy and having a work-life balance, which isn't a real thing, or holding your friends accountable for their bullying and toxicity, or holding yourself accountable for being a racist and learning
Yes.
how not to be and how to move forward and educate yourself and be better, but still taking accountability for all of the harm that you've caused, because it's important and you can't just be quiet all the time
Nope.
because that's bad.
It is bad. How's the sock?
Pretty good, actually. Now I have
Yeah.
2. I mean, I didn't knit 2 right now. This one was already on the needles, and this one I just like finished the cuff and just put them on there. But I'm knitting 2 to start. Yeah. How are you? How's your to-do list? What are you gonna
I
do?
added read my book club book.
Ooh, what
because
are you reading?
So I am in 2 book clubs.
Oh my God.
One is super informal. It's just me and one of my like my childhood best friend, and we're just reading all of the Agatha Christie Miss Marple books. It's
Wow.
so much fun. So I have to read whatever number 5 is. I can't remember. But in my other like lady book club where we have like, I don't know why I said lady. That was weird. We're reading The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, I think. We went for fantasy in February because we're like, let's escape reality.
Sensing a theme, another theme.
Yeah. Right. Well, and also, so February or January was supposed to be like an uplifting book, and somehow we ended up reading Hunger by Roxane Gay, which I don't know if you've read it, is not uplifting.
I have not, but I wouldn't count it as one of my more uplifting books.
No, it wasn't. It was basically a therapy session. So yes, so reading my book club book is now on my list. And also I think I'm going to make some chocolate chip cookies.
Nice. Nice.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's always a delight.
Always a good time. Always a nice little time.
Yeah. So if you liked our conversation or you have anything to add, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, also, really quickly, I saw someone call a YouTube a vlog the other day. Is that what we're doing?
I don't know.
I think we're doing a vlog.
Okay.
I mean, we could call it a vlog, or we could just.
I just like, no, like we can call it a vlog, but like Scheana Shay has a vlog, and now we're like Scheana Shay.
You're right.
This is the best day of my life.
We should invite Scheana Shay to be on our pod or our vlog.
Happening.
Oh my God, I messed it up again. Our vlog, not our
vlog.
Our vlog.
All right. Well, let's send her some DMs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Everyone comment and tag Scheana to be in our vlog.
Ooh. We need to bring back the Scheana corner.
Oh yeah, the Scheana corner that we never really started.
This is a Scheana appreciation vlog now.
Yeah, we forgot about that. Anyway, go make some cookies. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.
Drink some water. Cross some shit off your to-do list. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.